going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep them flowing. Where do you come from? And where are you going? What are you feeling tonight? And what are you showing? Where do you come from? 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 Where are you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep them flowing.
We are live with the Super PlayStation Bros without my mic being on mic, and oh my god, my V is deep this morning. Welcome, welcome. Just waking up. Thanks for hanging out with us. We are the Super PlayStation Bros, and we are going to bring everything PlayStation gaming this week. And there's a lot happening this week, not like last week where we spent an hour reviewing Concord. No. This week, we got official confirmation that we have a PS5 Pro coming this year. We have... It's official. It's official. And a door...
Official. We'll get there.
Helldivers 2 has its biggest update ever. And I'm happy to see it. And we're going to be going over what's included there. And plus... we may be seeing more Mega Man in the future, ongoing. So let's get into it. But like we always start, Dorgun, what have you been up to? What have you been gaming on this week?
You might want to turn me up again. Apparently, chat say I'm very low once more. The standard issue at the start of the podcast.
Yes, my... yeah, see, it puts Discord at 3. Nowhere in my life did I ever put Discord at 3.
No. So it's better than what Ray was having on stream the other day. Every time he talked, you could literally see his microphone level going down slowly. It went from like 100 down to like 12 every single time. So we had Houston relaying everything he was saying.
Oh, that's brutal. All right, there we go. I got you in the yellow. I got you in the yellow. We're all good.
So what have I been playing? I've been on PSVR 2 in the past week. It's been great fun. I've downloaded all of the ones that have come to PlayStation Plus. So I've now got Walkabout Mini Golf. Was having to play in that. And I saw your lovely picture out playing golf with your dad on Threads. And I thought I'd give that a go, see what's happening. I am terrible at golf. I am very not good at golf.
Same, I don't keep
because
score.
It's the full action in VR, and I'm like, oh, well, this is bad. Like, I tried to hit it straight, and it went that way. So, yeah, me and golf, apparently we don't mix. That one was a little bit interesting. Bit more on Tiger Blade. Absolutely adore that game. It's getting quite difficult now. It's throwing lots at you at once, so there's bullets flying at you whilst you're fighting somebody with a katana as well. You have to block the bullets, then slice the katana, then shoot the guy who's shooting you. Quite an intense game it's turned into from what was just a lovely fun start to things. And then I've been absolutely adoring being back into Pistol Whip recently. I've been in that Void Slayer update, which is the power metal one. It's got a band that I absolutely adore, Brothers of Metal, and The Other Son of Odin as one of the songs. Absolutely incredible. I spend more time dancing around the living room rather than actually shooting the enemies or anything. But it's also got this new ricochet mechanic where you have to punch the bullets back. You can't actually shoot yourself. You've got to sort of hit them with their own bullets, sort of thing, which is an incredibly huge challenge. Nice new bit of fresh life breathed into that. And I've been in a few others as well. But yeah, it's all been VR this past week, and I've absolutely loved it. And I go streaks where I don't break it out, and then it's the only thing I play. So I mean, the only thing I'm playing is the PSVR 2 at the moment. But what about yourself, man? I know you've been on this Soulsborne kick for a while now. And of course, there was the
Yes.
Concord beta at the weekend, which I'm assuming you got a bit more time in.
I got to play some more. I actually felt like they rained down Roika a little bit, so I was more playing with Vale a lot. Getting those sniper shots is really satisfying, and I felt it felt good to be a sniper. Stay in the back, don't get a lot of damage, make important shots, get some big kills. Those criticals are always fun. And plus her abilities throwing trip mines, which go on, they proceed until after you're dead. So I really like that. However, non-stop have I seen Concord is screwed, but I guess we'll see. No one can tell the future, and we'll see when it releases. Other than that, I've been getting up to Helldivers 2. I play that once a week, and so that's been a lot of fun. Actually, last Monday, I had an incredibly great time. We were just laughing, getting objective done, just overall fun. So, Helldivers 2, always worth jumping into. Gotta love it. Yes, I've been doing lots of Soulsborne's game. After Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, I got hungry. So I took down Dark Souls 3 plus the DLC, and now I'm in Dark Souls Remastered. Amazing titles. I love the genre, the combat, the difficulty, everything I love about those games. The intense stories. Actually, the one major thing that I'm loving about it is because I played Elden Ring first, is going back into time and seeing all of the inspirations that made Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like to see that. And then it's nice to step back into history, although it's hard playing old games sometimes, at least for me.
Try going back to the original Demon's Souls. Like, you'll have to source yourself a PS3 or 360. No, it was PS3. It was the PS3 exclusive. So you'll have to source yourself a PS3 and the original one. I know you've played the remake, but the original one is a different kettle of fish. That will show you where everything began and how far we've come once you're at Elden Ring, sort of thing. So I think that'll be a good sort of discovery for you to see where we've come from and gone to, sort of thing.
Absolutely. We'll see if I survive Dark Souls 2, though. I hear it's brutal.
It is. It is. It gets worse as you go back.
Helldivers 2, but let's jump into what's been going on in the news. But before that, I wanted to say what up to everybody in chat. So thanks for coming out with us. We got Ninja Guy VR. We have Ray the Gaming Cyborg. We got D Wilson. We got Wibblesniff hanging out with us on Twitch. We got Simply Pwned Gaming. Good morning, Vet. As well as Internet of Games. What's going on? Thanks for showing me photo mode in Cyberpunk the other day. I don't know how I didn't know it existed.
God, he's not giving you another obsession, has he?
He may have. I took a couple pictures the other day. And we got Gem. So good morning to everybody hanging out, and good morning to everybody hanging out and listening, because we know this is a podcast all about PlayStation. But without further delay, let's get into all the news this week. Helldivers 2, biggest update yet, escalation of freedom. That's right, new enemies, missions, difficulty levels, and more. Oh my god, it wants me to do my day. Look, I was born on the first day of the century. Am I old enough?
Yeah.
The escalation of freedom is bringing forward these tentacle-esque things, which are a throwback from the first Helldivers. They just come out of the ground, and typically people run away from bugs. These tentacles stop that plan. You can either stay there and fight them or just simply try to run away from them. I think that's really cool. If anyone wanted the charger to be more devastating, you got your wish and screw you, because now they have a spore charger which just like runs at you at a cloud of smoke of deadliness, which is just absolutely mind-bending. The cyborgs, they have the artillery cannons now. They have updated a lot of their classes to make their spawns like the people they spawn with. For instance, the Brute Commander will spawn with a bunch of other Brute Commanders now. So just making it more devastating out there on the playing field. I love to see it. We're gonna get new missions. There's this mission where you're grabbing a larvae sample and you got to throw it onto your backpack, and then you got to take that to extraction. But the thing is, the larvae
It's called
sample...
the Death Stranding mission, yes.
Yes, the Death Stranding
mission.
But the larvae sample is going to be crying out to all the bugs to come save it. So that's going to lead to a lot of chaos.
Hey, if you play Death Stranding, you're fine on that mission. Sorted. Just, don't fall down a mountain or something.
I think it's really awesome what they're doing here with this game, and I'd love to see all the attention this one's having. And big endure challenge. So I thought they made the game harder. I didn't think they needed a level 10, but new difficulty levels bringing out even more difficult spawn rates. Like, they're saying spawn rates like you've never seen before, and like I don't even know how to possibly deal with that. They've created a brand new fortress, which is apparently impenetrable, but you get a reward when you complete it. So I'm wondering what that's about. There's a lot of things happening. Oh, the spooky forest. They're adding a spooky forest planet. So that's spooky.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Helldivers
stuff
2.
here. A lot of stuff coming from the original Helldivers. That tentacle thing. It was vile in the first Helldivers, and that was a top-down twin-stick shooter. I can't imagine that thing in 3D. I can't imagine that thing, like, looking me in the face, me looking up at it, and just knowing I have no chance of survival. It's a vile, cretinous creature that just absolutely destroys every team on the planet. I don't think I've ever managed to beat one in the original Helldivers, and now they're bringing it into Helldivers 2 on these higher, amazingly difficult difficulties. It's a choice. It's one that Helldivers veterans are feeling a bit of PTSD from, but it's a choice, along with that Spore Charger, because why would you need to see the damn thing charging at you when it can just be in a cloud of its own smoke, sort of thing? These are very interesting additions. I wish it was a little bit bigger. I wish they brought a new enemy faction in as well, but this is 6 months after launch. It's a huge new update. You're getting new enemy types, you're getting new maps completely with new planets, you're getting new mission types, mission difficulties. It's a big update within 6 months of launch on a live service title, and we've seen other games within the first 6 months go completely off the rails and get cancelled. So this is amazing to see that Arrowhead is still supporting it, that Sony and PlayStation are still supporting it, and I hope it goes well. I hope it's a nice little uptick, that sort of second coming, especially as a lot of content creators and streamers will get on this as well and have their sort of second time in the sun with Helldivers 2. Right sort of time for it, I feel, and I hope we sort of see that 6 month cadence of big updates coming as sort of the standard. And if they can do it a little bit quicker, great, but I'd rather it be that quality with the quantity, that nice sort of balance.
Absolutely. So the tentacle is called the Impaler.
It's just
really
called Death.
fun.
It doesn't matter. It's just called Death.
This is, and the new Spore Charger. Oh my god, why a Spore Charger? You thought the regular old Brood Command was bad? Think again. They've updated him to be even more devastating. It's just a lot of awesome things happening on Helldivers 2. I know I've been playing it weekly, so to see the game evolve how it is really awesome. So be sure to check it out, and it is a free update. So you don't have to pay for it. It's just coming to the game, and it'll be there on August the 6th. So look out for that. as Dorgon was saying, it seems like publishers bail on live service flops too quickly. And this is from a Warframe CEO saying that games of late, like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Knockout City, Hyperspace, Babylon's Fall, and Anthem, have all suffered from people quitting too quickly before your game has a chance to survive out there. I think the examples he brings up in the article, like Fallout 76, I've never played, but No Man's Sky absolutely doubled down on making their game better instead of giving up. And now you see massive increase. I believe I posted an article, I'll share it shortly, that shows PlayStation's player count went up by 500%. Steam's player count is up in the 250,000. This is all from a new update on an 8-year-old game. I think it's time for people to maybe double down on their products instead of giving up so quickly.
It's a conversation we've had a few times on the podcast, on the channel. It's something we said a few weeks back when we were on about running the whole of PlayStation Studios and how you thought you'd run them into the ground by making more niche titles. And it's a valid point. Warframe was not popular for the first 2 or 3 years that it was on the market. And they plugged away, they kept doing it. And there was a point where the original Destiny got very quiet just before Moments of Triumph in year 3. So that would be 2016. And suddenly Warframe became the go-to alternative, the live service game for people to jump into because it was free as well. So this free-to-play, free-to-access, free-to-progress game was suddenly just getting a ton of other players, and the movement mechanics were unlike anything anywhere else on the market. And it's a similar sort of story with the likes of No Man's Sky. That had a catastrophic launch, it doubled down, it sorted the game out, it made it better. It's just given us like a 2.0, 3.0 update, and it looks incredible. I still need to jump into that with the VR headset strapped on and see how that looks in VR, because I think it's going to be mind-blowing. Anthem had something there. Wibblesniff and I played a lot of Anthem. Wibble a lot more than I did, but we both played Anthem. We both absolutely adored the traversal mechanics. I still adore those traversal mechanics. But again, they sort of dropped off, left it behind, and moved on before they could even launch the 2.0 update that they said was coming, that was going to fix the game. Knockout City hurts. I adored Knockout City. That was a great 3v3 dodgeball title, great little party game, huge amounts of fun. But again, they sort of dropped it within 12, 18 months on the market. Suicide Squad, it's only just been on the market 6 months, and we know that's not going to go on beyond the 12 months of content that they had planned, which has not been really well thought out at all. And a lot of it comes down to publishers. It's as we said a few weeks back, you've got corporations running the arts, and when corporations are running things, they want things to make money. All they care about is money number go up. And when money number don't go up, they pull the plug. When you've got an arts-based industry like video games, you can't have that because it has a detrimental effect on these games that need time to grow, flourish, and find their footing. Destiny would not be what Destiny is if it had not been given the time to grow, flourish, and find its footing. Warframe would not be what Warframe is if it hadn't been given time to stand, grow, and find its footing. It's the same for any successful live service game. It's had some torrid times, but it's been given that time to grow. I think this guy is onto something. Now, that's not to say that every single example he's put out there is a good game. Anthem wasn't a good game. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is not a good game, but give them the opportunity to try and sort it out, because that's what the arts are. That's what the art needs. It needs time, especially in this long-winded development cycle that you've got with how games are made currently.
Let's give it a little time, a little love. TLC, everybody, for those live service games. Hey, it's not their fault. It's their parents' fault, all right? But let's move into what's going on your PlayStation. Have you seen an update come through? because the new PS5 beta rolls out tomorrow with new personalized 3D audio profiles and new remote play settings. So if you're a part of the beta program, which I am not, RIP.
I am.
I think I've applied a couple times. Do you have to apply for each one or just...
You have to apply for everyone. I applied before the show. I've already got my email to redeem it.
Okay, so there's personalized 3D audio profiles. Do you want to go over what they're doing here in this beta then?
So the big one for me, like personalized 3D audio makes a lot of sense. What it means is rather than having this one setting across the console, you can have a setting per user, and every user is going to be different. If I stick these headphones on, I will hear something different to what my partner hears, because my partner's a little bit younger than I am. She's also female, so the whole setup of her ears is different. And my 3D audio setup is not going to be the same as her 3D audio setup. If I hear something behind me, she might end up hearing it about here. So the thought process with this is to make sure that every user profile on the console has an appropriate 3D audio setup, meaning that when they put those headphones on, it is perfect for how they hear things, which is great. It's how it should be. And sticking with that theme, you can have individual users on a console, and they can all have access to remote play now, making something like this much more valuable. Suddenly, the PlayStation Portal can be used by a family, or everybody could have one, and they can access it as long as nobody else is already using remote play on the console, access it themselves from wherever they are, just as long as they make sure that they can. So that is great news for the Portal. It suddenly makes it a lot more viable, a lot more accessible. And again, you can just log in, log out of this onto a different profile. So if you're all watching a TV show and one person wants to go play, they can, and then they will just log out and log somebody else in the next time it needs to be used. Huge, huge, huge update, that one, for the PlayStation Portal. And then finally, within this beta, we've also got, if you're on the new slim model of PlayStation 5, you get adaptive charging. Basically the same sort of thing that your smartphone does already. So it will charge up, learn when you put it on charge, and either just blast charge it or trickle charge it so that it gets like 90% and it fills at 10% in the final hour before you wake up in the morning if you do it overnight, that sort of thing. So they're doing that with controllers now. So you'll have adaptive charging available with that, which is great, but it's only available on the newer slim console. That one's not going to be available on the older fat console like you or I have. So a lot in this one. I think that remote play one is huge because it's not just for the Portal. If you've got a Backbone, if you've got a tablet, any other remote play device, ROG Ally, Steam Deck, any of these that can remote play to your PlayStation 5, they can all have their own profile now. Fantastic, absolutely amazing. Makes those consoles much more usable for families. And the 3D audio, again, just makes sense. Bit of a weird one that it wasn't there from the start, but they finally brought it 4 years later alongside the adaptive charging. So positives all around.
And there we have it. The new PS5 beta rolls out tomorrow. So be sure to try and sign up if you haven't already. Maybe you'll be able to get in. I'll be trying to get in after the show. We'll see what happens. But there was another update that came to the PlayStation 5 as well we should talk about.
We probably should. I just want to address Wibble's comment in the chat because it has just broken me. It's just like, oh, I barely have a backbone at all.
Oh, poor Wibble. Hope you're
Oh,
feeling
you
well
poor
today,
cripple.
Wibble.
Beautiful joke. Fantastic. Like, well played, that one. Moving on, actual PS5 updates for everybody, not just beta testers. Yes.
Wait, what are you saying? I don't like that the controllers can't be charged if it's at 3 bars. Isn't 3 bars a full controller?
Yeah? I just plug mine into the wall. I don't even plug it into the console. I just plug it into the same charger that my phone goes into.
I just put it into the console. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to tell you this story before about my PlayStation controller.
Come on.
I have a skin on my PlayStation controller. Well, yesterday I did the horrid thing of taking off the skin for the first time in over a year. And oh my
Oh,
god, I was horrified. I spent like an hour cleaning it with like a toothpick and alcohol swabs. Like, oh, my controller looks so much better now. Oh my gosh, but Jesus. Clean your controllers,
please tell
people.
me, please tell me you've cleaned the console as well. So you've taken the plates off, got the Hoover inside, cleaned the plates down, and everything.
When I got the D brand
Because
plates.
that was a while back now. Like, if your controller's that bad, your console's going to be worse because that is sucking in air.
Yeah, and the air in
I
my
think
house is a little bit different than the air in other people's homes.
I think you might need to clean your console. Clean your consoles, folks. It's not difficult. They literally made a vacuum slot that you stick the vacuum into, and it just cleans everything out. It's not hard. Clean your consoles. It'll keep them working better longer.
Right. So, the latest PS5 firmware update adds game session sharing via URL, and here are the patch notes. So, this share link. So, is this for open multiplayer sessions? You just share a link or a QR code and then say No Man's Sky, you can jump right in via code. Is that what they're explaining? Is that what I understood from this?
So, share play is, say I was playing Gran Turismo 7 and I was really struggling with a race, and I asked you if you could help me with that race. I can't exactly hand you the controller whilst there's an ocean between us. There's a few thousand miles between where you are and where I am. With SharePlay, I can grant you access to my game on my console whilst you're playing on your console, and you could then pick up your controller on your PlayStation and help me to get through that race. What this is now allowing folks to do is create a link to that so that they can tap on the link on, say, their phone, plug their Backbone controller in, and they could do the same thing for you via remote play from their console whilst they're out and about. It's just another way of going about things. It's a small incremental update. The rest of the update is software, firmware stability, and all that sort of stuff, and a bit of security. But that one is a niche use case, but a positive use case, because if I was out somewhere and you needed help, I would then be able to do that for you. So SharePlay is where you share your game with somebody else. They get to play your game. You can now just send them a link, and that will link them straight into the game via their
Nice.
PlayStation messages, right at the point you needed help.
So just say somebody like, Wilson is struggling in Elden Ring. He can't beat a certain boss because, he sucks. So he passes on the share link to me. I'm able to then take control of his character, beat the boss for him, and then carry on his merry way, get him the trophy he was looking for. So that's
If
cool.
he was on a proper console, yes.
Yes,
And
yes.
not that terrible like pen holder that he's got.
No, the one that costs a lot of money per month. Yes. But we will move on. But that's a great feature to have. It's absolutely novel, and it really brings the community closer together, with more accessibility and the ability to just go help somebody if they need it.
Yeah, very useful and much easier than trying to throw my controller 3,000 miles
Yeah.
or 5,000 kilometers. I don't quite know what the distance between us is.
I want to say 7K kilometers.
7K sounds about right. Yeah.
Maybe 7 to 9, because I think it's 7,000 kilometers to Portugal.
Yeah, and then we're about 3,000 from Portugal, give or take, depending which way you go.
But
That makes sense. We'll go with that. We're not geographers. We're PlayStationers.
although, how awesome would it be to be a cartographer? I would love to be a cartographer. Anyways, continuing
It's
on.
tough, but yeah, it would be cool.
Making maps, exploring. Xbox consoles, exclusive party animals will soon arrive fashionably late on PlayStation. Well, let's hope they bring some cool skins. I hope an Astrobot is there, because I felt like the party animals was a little lack of content. I believe they only had a couple of different game modes and a couple different skins. Although I did have a lot of fun with friends playing, enjoying the madness. I just wish that there was more to it. more into the party game. So I look forward to see if they update as well as bring it to PlayStation.
Party Animals is a great game. It was my game of the year last year because it was just so much fun. My access to it was limited because I had to do it via Game Pass Cloud on Xbox, and that just, for a game that's about 20 quid to buy, you'd spent that on the game in 2 months if you were playing on Game Pass, and as that was the only thing I was playing on Game Pass, it was suddenly then entering into the realms of I'm overpaying for a title that I could just wait until it comes across to PlayStation and then just buy it outright and save myself a lot of money. So that's what I've done. I haven't put anywhere near the amount of time into the game that you have or other people have, but the time that I have put in has been with friends, and that is what this game's about. It's literally in the name, party. It's a party game. You have people around, you gather people together online, and you have a party together, and you play together, and you do silly things together in Party Animals. And I do believe the article says it's going to be fully cross-play, so you will be able to play with people on PC and Xbox as well. And this is a great game, a huge amount of fun. Hopefully they do bring updates. I don't particularly care for the updates, just the straight up physics brawler type thing on PlayStation. It's basically gang beasts that we have in that realm at the moment. So having another one that is this fun is great. I'm looking forward to it. I like the game, and it's worth the price of entry more so than the price of subscription. And I think people will be a lot more pleased with it when purchasing it, if that makes sense.
I hope they have an Astrobot skin. Come on, they have to have an Astrobot skin.
I imagine there will be some platform-specific skins, so you can get something green over on that side. If they do release it on the Switch or the Switch 2, something red over that side, and you get something blue or character-specific over this side. They might even throw a Master Chief costume for this side of green. You know, platform-specific things are great. Look at Hi-Fi Rush. It's got platform-specific outfits. They look fantastic, and they do work and give you a bit of pride in what you're doing, where you're playing. I like that sort of thing. But Party Animals, coming to PlayStation, cross-play, bring it on.
Let's go. Now, I will say this article was supposed to come after the No Man's Sky thing, so don't blame me. But here we have the major news coming out today. PS5 Pro is seemingly starting to appear in source code. Interesting. So we have the brand new update from No Man's Sky, and people have been, digging into the source code there and figuring out what is inside this update. And people found something by a graphics profile named Trinity. Now, the rumored code name of the new console is called Trinity, and that's because Sony has frequently used names from the Matrix to internally label its unannounced products. So I think that's pretty interesting. First of all, PlayStation somehow thinks it's creating the Matrix, and it scares me because what if Sony is creating the Matrix and we are all inside that? But I digress. Hannah's laughing at me now. The No Man's Sky graphics preset options for Trinity are inside the code there, and it actually takes the high settings and brings it up to ultra. So I thought that was cool to see. It looks like a big bump up for graphics for people using this rumored PS5 Pro. And I would love to see my settings turned up to ultra. So I think that is exciting stuff to hear. And this could possibly be a little tell on what's coming with PlayStation.
Yeah, off the back of this, there's been a lot of PS5 Pro talk. Again, we've covered this on the show multiple times. We've got clips about the PS5 Pro that have passed like 2,000 views and such. So it's something people are interested in. It's something people want to know about. For me, there's nothing here that we haven't heard before. The PS5 Pro is meant to be a powerhouse above even the PS5. It's meant to be able to do 4K at 120 frames per second. It's meant to be able to ray trace for days and give you HDR that looks beyond what we've known before. There's so many claims about what it can and can't do. The reality of the situation is nothing is confirmed anywhere. Last week, in the same breath, we heard that it was delayed till 2026 and it was coming before Christmas 2024. That was in like the same day that both of those news articles came out from supposedly the same source. We are now at a point where we've got concrete information from the source code of a game that Project Trinity is real, that Project Trinity is a more powerful version of the PlayStation 5 that will allow games to run at a much higher fidelity. That is the only sort of concrete information we've got.
I have something else.
Hit me.
Hit you? A little something called Tom Henderson's tweet.
He's the one who told us it wasn't coming till 2026 and coming before Christmas. I am not trusting him at the moment.
All right. Well, he said...
One day he said two very different things.
Well, he said, we'll see if it releases this year. And if you take out the if part and you just, paraphrase him, it releases this year. All right, people.
Oh, yeah, let's just take out the major quantifying factor.
Listen, Tom Henderson is putting it out there. There's a big chance it could release this year. We see the Trinity code appearing in the update. We see Tom Henderson being a bit more forward with it. Listen, is it probably going to release this year? Probably not. I wouldn't bet on it. But we're seeing more things point to it, and as our job, we need to let you know every time we see something that points to it.
I honestly believe we will see it at the September showcase for Tokyo Game Show. I think that's when we'll see a big Sony blowout of what's coming next. To speak to 809 Lion in the chat, so do we need a PS5 Pro? Personally thinking, I didn't think there was a need for a PlayStation 5 when that was coming out. I thought PS4 Pro was more than capable. There was nothing on sort of spreadsheet of what the PS5 could do above the PS4 Pro that told me it was needed. Once I went hands-on with it, those thoughts changed, and it was mostly quality of life things. That DualSense controller, the load speeds, and what have you. It's a bit different with a mid-generation refresh, and whilst you could easily see that going from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 4 Pro, given that bump from 1080p to 4K, given the frame rate bump from 30 to 60 in a lot of games, it's harder to justify for a PS5 Pro. Unless they come out swinging and say you're running every game at 4K, you're running every game at 120 frames per second if your TV supports it. If they're saying that maybe load speeds are even quicker. For me, the PS5 Pro is saying a lot about ray tracing, and conversations I've had a lot in the last week on social media, the majority of people you speak to don't even notice ray tracing. The general gamer really doesn't even know what it is, and they don't care for it. They care about their games running faster with better frames and better fidelity. So if it is the powerhouse that gives those gamers that, it gives them the frames, it gives them the graphics quality above what they've already got, and they have the choice to turn on or off ray tracing rather than just have it there as a designer says, I think it would be a good thing. But again, it depends on cost as well. The current console is £500, $500. What are they going to charge for a Pro? $650? $700? Big ask for a lot of people. But I think we'll see it September. I think we'll hear about it and we'll have a concrete release date at that time.
Yeah, you're right. These game shows coming up are some big ticket items for PlayStation. I wanted to show something off quickly. So PlayStation has stayed away from these shows for a couple years, right?
2019, they stopped doing most of them, yeah.
Check out the booth they have set up at China Joy, because it is astronomical. All right, here we have their booth at China Joy.
You did not just make that joke.
Yes, I did.
You did not make that joke. No, you did not. That was terrible.
Look at the Astro. He's right there, front and center. We got Phantom Blade. We got Helldivers 2. They have a little backsplash of Concord. Who knows? Concord could be doing very well in other places. Elden Ring, massive game. Astrobot, More games are just highlighting there. Look at this booth. I mean, this is fancy schmancy. They got PS Slims, they got DualSense Edge, PSVR 2. Oh, it looks so clean, so nice. Huge screens, and of course, Astrobot and the Chino Hero Project. Did you see that? They have a whole booth set up to that. So maybe seeing things like Lost Soul aside, I've been wanting to see more from that game. But this is their booth setup. Absolutely phenomenal and ridiculous. The games they'll be showing off here, can't understand a lot of them, to be honest, but we got Elden Ring, Astrobot, Phantom Blade, Helldivers 2, Evocation? I don't even know this game. Like, some of these games I haven't even heard of. I hope a lot of these are coming out of the Chino Hero Project and we get to see it soon. But what a booth. Am I right? Like, what a presence.
That is old school E3 presence. That is incredible. And as much as I've spoken against these shows in recent years because the internet exists, you can just feed it directly to your fans. To see that effort as a PlayStation fan or podcast host, it's incredible and it's heartwarming. It's wonderful to see. I hope this is the start of a bit more communication from PlayStation, because they have been basically silent for nearly 2 years at this point, and somehow it's working for them. They don't say anything and they just let all of the competitors put their foot in their mouth. But yeah, this is good to see, and hopefully we get a lot more communication from the company in short time to the rest of the world as well as China.
Hey, it's a great presence. I'd love to see them set up, be on the front stage, show off more. Let's see what they have to offer. I'm all for it. But
Ron says in chat, well, Ron asks in chat,
okay.
is Astrobot now officially PlayStation's mascot? I'd say so.
I think it's been their console sort of mascot. They sort of share it. I mean, you could also say Aloy, you can say Kratos, they don't go with one specific mascot to ride on. I mean, we saw what happened with Dr. Disrespect. You don't just pick one person because you never know what Astrobot is tweeting out there to his fans. So you gotta go with a lineup of leaders in your situation. I mean, some people just pick one person to go with, Master Chief, but let's face it, next year we're going to see his tweets and his conversations, and shit's going to go south for Xbox. I'm just saying, you can't get behind just one leader, because you never know in today's age what they're tweeting.
I mean, we already know he had issues when he had a relationship with a mass-murdering AI, but coming off the weird tangent that Rudix has just gone on, I would say, yeah, Astrobot probably is the PlayStation mascot because he is basically synonymous with the PlayStation 5 at this point. He is the first game that everybody plays because it's installed on every PlayStation 5. It's got a new sequel to that coming out later this year, and he is the PlayStation colors. He can wear any skin, be any of the other mascots. Astro is the front of that sort of collection of characters, and I'd say, yeah, he's probably the PlayStation mascot at this point.
There you have it. Let's just hope he's not tweeting. So, speaking of mascots, Capcom wants to make Mega Man games an ongoing basis, and I'm here for it. The Blue Bomber is so back. We got publisher Capcom says Legendary Mega Man represents one of the company's most highly valued IPs. Of course Capcom is one of your most highly valued IPs, with 41 million copies sold across the series. How have you not made a Mega Man since 2018? It boggles the mind. But yes, the future, we could be seeing a lot more Mega Man. I'd love to see more from this series. I think they went in a couple different directions that I wasn't necessarily a fan of with Mega Man. I remember playing this like 3D open world one on my Nintendo 64. It just didn't feel the same. I haven't gone back and played this one from 2018, Mega Man 11. But I hope maybe they brought it back to its former glory. I'd love to try it out. I actually went back on the retro catalog, the game catalog, classics, and played an old Mega Man, like beat a couple bosses and just had fun there. I mean, it is a great title that hits back to my childhood for sure. Bring more Mega Man, Capcom. It's a great idea.
It's a good time to be doing it as well. Metroidvanias have been doing very well for themselves this past 12, 18 months. And everybody's been seeing it. Capcom obviously wants to jump on the bandwagon. They were a sort of paramour, a contemporary to Metroid, the original of the Metroidvanias, of course. So Mega Man doing the same. Good to see them come back. Good to see them put some effort and time into it. Just do it right. I don't care how far there are between releases. Just do it right. This is a series that is beloved by many across generations. Do it right, Capcom. That's all I'm asking of you for this one.
Yes. I mean, we've seen some of their games this year, and there's mixed reviews. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Dragon. I'm looking at you, Dragon's Dogma. Come on. You don't make all the things in a game that aren't fun and make that the central core of your vision of the game. But I digress.
You do if you want to sell microtransactions, of course.
Oh my god, I've never seen microtransactions for fast travel. And I've never seen a game that does not want you to fast travel. It's built into the game.
That's because you've not played a Ubisoft game recently.
Yeah, no, I haven't. We have that as a story as well, but I want to talk about something a little bit hot and steamy. PS5 smash hit Stellar Blade's photo mode is apparently imminent. Yes, we can see here that they've posted a pose. That means Eve will have different poses, and that's her in a new swimsuit outfit. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, listen, if I was the VP here, your contrast is way too high. What do you have so much light pollution in this photo? Come on. Let's get some editing done here in photo mode.
Maybe that's the art style they were aiming for. Just because they have a different vision than yourself as a visual artist, as a visual photography artist, doesn't mean it's incorrect, darling. Sometimes
it just seems like it's washed.
Flare.
It's washed out. Anyways, I look forward to it.
Just talk to J.J. Abrams. He's all for the lens flare like we've got going on here.
It comes out next month, according to rumors. I look forward to it. I'm definitely going to be using some photo mode. I just wanted to bring that update to everybody because can't wait. Can't wait. Photo mode and celebrate.
Very
lechy
individuals utilizing that for all the wrong reasons.
That's the game. Now, Ubisoft. They have come forward and they've issued a public message. I'm not even going to call it an apology because it's kind of like a sorry, not sorry. We're still going forward with it.
Carry on. I'll be right back.
They want to express their thank you for supporting the series. But at the same time, they want to address all the criticism that they're getting from their Japanese players. They go on to say that their intention is to present an entertaining game for entertainment purposes. And although it's set in the historical fictional set of feudal Japan, they want to be able to take creative liberties, and that's what they've done here. They're not showing a exact replica of what happened in history. They're not trying to rewrite history. They're simply putting an entertaining story on top of a historical place. And so they wanted to make sure that they clarified this, that they have been consulting through people. That means they paid a lot of people to make sure they wouldn't get in trouble, and they still got in trouble. But consequently, they still hit criticisms. So in the end, they just want to let you know that their works are fiction by real historical events and figures. However, they need to take that entertainment creative liberty, and that's why the story is a bit convoluted. And guess what? You haven't played the story yet, so you haven't seen what they're trying to tell. And maybe what they're trying to tell more closely aligns what happened in historical events. So this is the letter they launched, a 4-pager, which I'm surprised to see, but they wanted to get out in front and address what was happening with the criticisms of Assassin's Creed. Did you have anything to say on their public statement?
They failed to address anything that was being criticized. It's a useless bloody statement. It's piss poor. The problems that people have, problems that a lot of Japanese folk have, is they've stolen work. So they've stolen artwork. They've taken copyrighted materials and utilized them in their marketing, like this. This is a sword from One Piece. This is Sandai Kitetsu III. It's one of Zoro's swords, and it is a cursed blade. They went.
Oh, don't hold that.
This sword.
It's cursed.
And it is cursed, but it's all right. Zoro's got more luck than this has got cursed. They took this sword and used it in their in-person marketing for Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's straight up copyright infringement. That's not even entering into any problems. That's copyright infringement of One Piece, the biggest singular entertainment entity in the world. It has sold more copies in its lifetime than Batman has. And Batman's been around 70 years longer. So they've got that issue to deal with, and they haven't addressed that in this statement at all. They've also got the issue of the insensitivity that a lot of Japanese people are signing a petition for, that they are crushing and basically crapping all over Japanese culture. And whilst there is that disclaimer at the start of every Assassin's Creed game to say this work of fiction is worked on by a multitude of people, multitude of faiths, religions, and all that sort of stuff, they've never openly offended people with that before until Odyssey with Greece, and they openly offended people there, and they've just kept going down that route since. And they seem to have lost their way. One of the rules of making an Assassin's Creed game is we will use gaps in history to tell our story. We will put the fiction where the gaps are. So in the Italian Renaissance, for example, you had Leonardo da Vinci making tools for Ezio Auditore. There is nothing in history to say that he wouldn't do this because he worked for all of the noble families of Firenze at the time that Ezio was a young man. So distinctly possible. That's a gap in history that they can insert this story into. And it's the same through many other aspects of the series, but they seem to just be taking history and taking full liberties with it. So they're not even making an Assassin's Creed game the way that they have said Assassin's Creed games should be made. They've offended people and then not apologized to them. They've just told people who are being racist, which quite rightly they should do, to back the ever-loving crap off, because this person actually existed. And whether or not he was a samurai, it depends which historian you talk to. Some will say yes, some will say no. And those are Japanese historians as well, not like rest of the world historians. We have got quotes this week from 2 separate Japanese historians, one saying Yasuke was definitely a samurai, one saying Yasuke was not a samurai. So they've addressed the racism, which they should do, but then they've not addressed any of the other issues. Least of all, copyright infringement. It's like, come on, guys. Read the room.
Yep, and I mean, I've heard their call. They're going forward with it, and they're telling their shareholders that it's critically well received. This along with Star Wars. So, I mean, they're gonna keep pushing forward with this. They released this to try to ease some of that, but we'll see. I mean, Assassin's Creed sells like gangbusters almost all the time, so I don't think this
not
will
to
stop
Assassin's
them.
Creed fans, yeah.
Well, that's all we had for today's show. I want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with us live here on the Super PlayStation Bros. You can find links to both of our channels in the description below. Dorgon, what do you got going on your channel?
I have just finished a script today, so I will be recording the voiceover for that ideally tomorrow. And then it's a case of A-roll and B-roll and getting that edited, hopefully through the course of next week. So you should have that very shortly, within a week or so, that video.
Sweet. And tonight I may or may not be doing the family game night. I gotta check with them. However, a note, we will be gone next week. I am heading off to the USA. So I will not be...
Why'd you want to go there? Ugh.
Because I'm married. That's why.
I mean, just moan the whole time you're there. Let her know what you really think.
Yeah. Well,
how many weeks are you away? Because I believe it's 3 weeks we're going to be off air now, unless something huge hits, and then we'll have to figure something out.
it's a possibility. I may be gone for more than 1 week, but I will keep you updated. I may be able to get back for the 7th, I believe it is.
Cool. Well, if you want to stay up to date, guys, there's a link to the Discord in the description box below where all Super PlayStation Bros news is updated. Make sure you click on that and join that Discord. Otherwise, 2-ish weeks, we'll see everybody.
Yes, and until then, be sure to catch up on all the Doragon Talks clips from this show, and we'll see you later. Be sure to catch... Oh, right, I'll be gone for the download, so there won't be a download either. Just stay tuned to all the socials, check out the Discord, and we'll see you later. Getting out of here.
Catch you later, guys. Take care. Bye.
Try to believe in me. Why try do I even need to? I die with the season leaves. I glide with the season breeze. True, my mind so easily spooked. I ride just to be the me who finds hype super decently smooth. Nice type but as sick as beats.